corner. From Korea,
the striking figure that is 7'2" Menjoi. And his approach to this all business-like. He has never once hinted, of course, and really hasn't even said anything, tried to make anything public in the press around here about, you know, this isn't a sideshow for him. This isn't, he easily steps over the ropes. You know, he's hoping to pull the upset. This is a business for him tonight to prove himself.
And he's the one guy that can probably do it just because of size and mass alone.
And now the man, the myth, the legend, the #1 fighter, Fedor. Well, this is it. Fedor Emelianenko, who has won 7 straight since a no contest. 26-1. And can this man pull the upset? Menjoi.
He's got the size, he's got the mass. Probably not, though. If anybody knows my history of picking winners for MMA fights, knows I'm not very good, but I feel pretty confident with this one, even because of the size difference.
No kick, no knees. Okay? No knees, okay?
As you can see it here, look at the difference in these guys. I'm a little nervous. I might be getting in the ring.
Matt Lindland, the last man to go in against Fedor, told us in Portland last week he thinks it's going to be a first-round decision, one way or the other for Fedor. Most everyone else picking him as Fedor shoots in on the big man. And Choi takes him down. Fedor giving up about 130 pounds here.
237 to 366, Ken. That's a huge difference. I don't care who you are.
And look at the arm of Choi. It engulfs the head of Emelianenko.
You can see the head difference too, the size and the difference it has. Look how small Fedor looks underneath him. As if Choi's working with his little brother. He's got
Fedor going for the arm bar. Fedor going for the arm bar. Choi pulls loose.
I can't believe he got out of that. That was tight. I thought it was over. Look how tight that armbar was.
Fedor perhaps a little impressed himself there by Choi. Showing some redness around the face. And you can see there the welts taking a couple of good licks from Menjoi.
He's trying to do a sambo trip. He can't do it because he's just so big.
And Choi again on top.
See how patient Fedor can be. He's gonna go down the forehead. Every punch is huge. Even little peppery shots by Choi, they're huge punches because of his size.
And you can see this. Look at the mammoth fist here of Menjoi. Again, Fedor going for
That's it. He got it. He got it.
He's got it. Fedor does it. Fedor Emelianenko.
Wow. Everyone can breathe a sigh of relief now because that was a little close one. You don't understand how big Choi is. If he could have got a couple punches off, this fight would have been done.
Here's how it happened.
Look at this armbar, the extension on it. Fedor's completely locked out. For those of you that practice in jiu-jitsu, getting to this position is very difficult on a man your own size, let alone somebody of Menjoi's size. Because look, once Fedor gets it in, his knee is by his head. He's already tapping, but he extends out. He's fully extended. You can see the elbow poking through the bottom of Fedor's torso. His arm is longer than Fedor's torso. It's really hard to submit a guy for that length.
An interesting choice of opponent. The same result, so. Fedor Emelianenko, another victory. And Menjoi, he got a few punches in. He landed a couple of solid blows early on. You see some redness around the face of Emelianenko, who patiently waited and grabbed a hold of one of those arms. Frank, that's about like getting a small tree trunk trying to submit it.
You know, Menjoi, a lot. You know, what I expected. You know, anytime the Fedor tried to take him down, he couldn't do anything with him. He couldn't sweep him over. He was just too big. You know, it's difficult. You see Jean-Claude Van Damme and Fedor hugging in the corner there. It's just difficult to move a guy with that mass around, and you have to be technically, you have to be correct. You know, obviously Fedor was technically correct, got that arm bar, was able to finish it.
Я рад снова выступать здесь.
また日本でこうやって試合できてとても嬉しいです。
Для вас, ради вас.
皆さんのために試合しました。
Я обещаю, что буду впредь приезжать к вам и постоянно выступать. Здесь вы меня полюбили больше всех, больше, чем в какой-либо стране, кроме моей, конечно.
これからも日本に来て試合を続けることを約束します。日本の皆さんにこうやって愛され続けていて、日本という国が一番私のことを好きでいます。
I promise you that I'm going to fight in Japan again. As you can obviously tell by the crowd response.
В моей стране, моей великой стране. И я рад, что сегодня сделал небольшой праздник для своих земляков, для россиян.
この試合が私の祖国ロシアでも中継されることを知っています。私の祖国の国民たちも大きな祝日となってくれることを願っています。
Все мои победы для вас. Дома не готовы за нас.
私の勝利は皆さんのためにあります。ありがとうございます。
This fight is being shown in his home country of Russia too. He's happy fighting in front of the Russian crowd, his Russian fans as well. It's on free TV in Russia at the same time.
Well, I don't know if it could officially be New Year's in Japan if Fedor doesn't show up. This is his 5th straight New Year's Eve fight, and of course his 5th straight New Year's Eve victory here in Japan.
He will obviously have to retire,
Yeah.
to be able to not to fight on New Year's Eve in Japan.
And just an hour away from 2008 here in Tokyo, Fedor ringing in the new year early with his first round armbar submission of Menjoi to run his record to 27-1.
You see a little bit of the damage done to his face right there, and there was only probably about 5 or 6 punches that connected.
Yeah, massive fist of Choi. Even a glancing blow covers about half the face of Fedor, but waited, didn't get the armbar in the first time. Got it the second time, and in classic Emelianenko fashion, he wrapped it all up.
This is a huge thing for H-Net Fights to have this, the #1 fight in the world on at night, first thing, live. For the, I know it's early for a lot of the guys, especially for the Pacific Coast guys, where I live in Las Vegas, Pacific Coast time zone. The wife had to stay up all night to watch. Not so bad on the East Coast, but still, to have him on H-Net, a live show is great.
As you look at Fedor, and for all those watching back in the U.S. on HDNet, an early Happy New Year. Still a few hours to go to celebrate 2008 there. But what a way to ring it in here with Fedor Emelianenko. He wasn't the bigger man, but he is certainly the giant of MMA, Emelianenko.
Great hip motion, great extension. Obviously,
that's textbook, isn't it, Frank?
That's day one you learn about an armbar. It's exactly how it needs to be done, and that's obviously Fedor's best submission position. He does it all the time, and he's.
And as popular as any fighter here in Japan is the Russian Fedor Emelianenko. And that's one of the reasons. As you see, you figure if the guy had time, he would probably shake hands with all 20-some thousand here. He's very accessible to the fans here in Japan when he shows up.
Well, when you see his opening here in Japan, and you see how they portray him in the media and how they portray him in the articles and in the press, you realize they're trying to make him a cold, heartless machine. And so if you're not familiar with him and don't come to the fights live and don't see him all the time, you're like, oh, he's another Russian cold, heartless machine. Like, all of his opening has got snow in it. It's got icicles in the background. You're like, oh, this guy, but then you get to talk to him, which I'm privileged to do. From working with Pride in the past and then working here tonight with HDNet, I actually get to see him as he really is with his wife, his daughter, and his friends and family. And he's just a normal cat who just loves to fight because that's what he's good at. And he loves the competition that most people don't get. That Fedor's just a regular guy like you and I, and he will sit down all night. I guarantee you, at 4 in the morning tonight, he'll still be sitting downstairs, signing autographs and taking pictures with all the fans that show up at the hotel.
And has never changed, still lives in the same hometown he grew up in. So the story goes that after one of his big wins, he actually had to call up a buddy at the airport. He forgot to tell him when he was coming back. Hey, pick me up, I'm at the airport. Yeah, I won the fight last night. So he has remained a humble and great champion. Another triumphant visit here to Tokyo. Let's go back now to Ron Kruk, who's standing by with the champ. Ron?
Congratulations on this huge win, Fedor Emelianenko. It seemed you were willing to eat a couple of punches, wait for your opportunity for the armbar. Tell us how you finished this fight.
Во-первых, поздравляю с этой огромной победой. Мне показалось, что вы ждали, вы готовы были принимать от него несколько ударов, и потом вот ждали момент, когда можно захватить и идти на удушающее. Не удушающее, а вот да.
Да, действительно, все было так. Я хотел даже в стойке немножко быть поактивнее, но Хон Менжоя ждал. Я хотел в атаке и от нее работать.
Yes, exactly like that. I was ready also for the fight in standing, but he didn't want to fight in standing, and it just turned out that way.
You sustained a couple of cuts. Is that from just the sheer massive hands and gloves of Hung Man Choi?
You mean this? Вот эти все вот эти пятна, это от массивных ударов от Хон Ман Чой. Всего лишь несколько получилось.
Нет, если честно, я совсем не чувствовал удара и удивляюсь, откуда такие повреждения на моем лице.
In fact, I didn't feel any big hits, but so I was now surprised to see that all these bruises in my face.
Мне кажется, я сильно тиранулся об ковер, об татами, ну, об покрытие ринга. Сильно тиранулся.
Fedor, huge win tonight on New Year's Eve in Japan. As one of the last Pride fighting champions, what does it mean to you to win here in Tokyo once again on New Year's Eve?
Вот эта огромная победа, вот снова приехали сюда как последний чемпион Прайда, и вот снова имели такую огромную победу прекрасную. Что это значит для вас?
Ну, я приехал не на последний Прайд, я приехал на первое соревнование M1 Global. И очень рад, что этот старт произошел очень успешно.
I didn't come here as the last Pride champion. I came here for the M1 Global's first championship, and so I'm really glad that it turned out this way. That I finished with my victory.
Final question, and then the New Year's Eve party can get started. What's next for you? When can MMA fans expect you to fight again?
Ну, теперь может начать новогоднее гуляние, а после этого какие планы в будущем?
Выступать, драться. Сейчас, да, я обещал Шиноди-сан, что мы с ним немножко выпьем. А так, да, выступать у меня на следующий год 3-4 боя.
Just keep fighting, just keep participating in good fights, and I just promised with my friend Shinoda-san to have a New Year's drink, and after that we will start thinking about our victory plan.
No opponent in the future?
Ну, оппонент ожидается уже конкретный?
Я не знаю, это мне скажут руководители M1 Global.
I don't know it for yet. The M1 Global's leader will tell me later, probably.
Happy New Year, Fedor. Enjoy this victory.
Happy New Year, my friends. Take care.
All right, guys. Fedor Emelianenko, back to you, ringside.
Thanks, Ron.